Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Barlow Zone, home of the one and only Demon Hunter King Kaido, himself sent to Azeroth, aka Barlow. How's everybody doing today? I wanted to try something a little different out with that intro. Let me know what you guys thought of that in the comments below. But real quick before I get into this one, I just want to mention we do got the surprise off week this week. We weren't scheduled to have one. Now, obviously, because of how things have been for Oda Sensei in recent years, we're all kind of worried that it might be his health again. So, if it is, I just want to send my thoughts and prayers out to Oda Sensei and his family. If there's anything going on there, just sending the good vibes their way. You guys deserve some break, deserve some downtime. As much as we're feasting, we're never going to get to the end if you're not with us, Oda Sensei. So, please do take care of yourself. If it's I heard speculation I might be doing with the anime. As you guys know, I don't keep up with the One Piece anime, so I'm not sure where they're at right now, but my best guess would be about to leave Egghead, maybe somewhere around there. Let me know if you guys keep up with the anime. Where are they at right now? Even though I don't keep up, it's probably something I should at least stay up to date with, where the anime's at, because catching up with the manga is always a little worrying, episodes draw out more. But anyway, I wanted to come in today. I actually shot another video a couple days ago that I wanted to post yesterday, but while I was doing some editing on that, I had another thought that just, I don't know, I guess clicked with me a little more, right? And I probably really should have went ahead and posted that one yesterday. I'll get it in a couple days, maybe a little bit of a silver lining for us creators if we got something on the docket. We got a chance to fit it in here now between chapters. But I had this crazy thought, right? That as anxious as I am to get back to Elbaph proper, I hadn't thought about this angle before. And it's something that honestly has kind of been set up going all the way back to at least Whole Cake. I really probably should have added in my notes to make sure I had good plot points for you guys, but what I'm getting at here is the captain's dilemma, right? It was something that came up with Luffy pre-time skip in relation to Sabaody, decisions made there, and then even going further back all the way to Enies Lobby and Water 7 saga, right? With Usopp and then Sogeking. If the first mate hadn't been doing his job, then a lot of this stuff may have gone much worse for the crew, or, in Usopp's case, maybe a little better. But, who among us would have given up Sogeking for anything, right? Like, Sogeking exists as a different entity in a lot of our hearts than Usopp, even though they're the same person, right? But that's kind of the point. For me at least, the point I'd like to make today is Zoro has been a great first mate, right? Like, he easily the second strongest on the crew. Sanji fans, get at me. Your boy's making a come up. I don't deny that, and potentially by the time the final war kicks off, Sanji and Zoro might be on even grounds compared to each other. I don't discount that. It's a possibility. I theorize that Sanji's gonna have power in a different way than Luffy and Zoro, but maybe one day I'll get into that. Let me know if you guys would like to know a little bit more about my theory around the big three on the crew, right? But, Zoro's put up with a lot of Shanks propaganda, right? Like, Luffy has made decisions because of rumors of Shanks' location before. And Zoro's always kind of been there like, hey, Luffy, you know what? I get it. I understand why you kind of idolize this man so much, brother. Like, he was there for you. He saved your life. He taught you most of the stuff you know about being a good captain. And, Zoro's kind of just gritted his teeth, like, let his captain have his hero, for better or for worse. Like, Shanks is Luffy's hero, right? But there's something that happened. I want to say I don't know. I'm probably gonna uh, double down on the research, go find the panel and the chapter that it was from. But I want to say it was around the time of going into Egghead, Winter Island, Kid on Elbaph. Uh, even if we consider now, uh, Luffy, Law, and Kid had a alliance on Wano, right? Like they had all, may I cut myself? Uh, they had all agreed to work together in the effort to bring down King Kaido, right? Like Timothy Chadson was a problem and they needed to work together to make this happen. Now, even if we consider that alliance dissolved, it completed its task, they set out, that alliance is no longer a thing, right? Like, so the Kid Pirates are, sorry about that, the Kid Pirates are no longer considered allies of the Strawhat Pirates, right? We'll take that, believe however you feel, we're just going to assume for the sake of this argument that is a fact, that alliance is over. Shanks has attacked the Grand Fleet. Love him or hate him, however you feel about Oda saying that this character is how he sees us as a fan base, right? For better or for worse, however you feel about Bartolomeo, the red-haired pirates destroyed the Barto Club ship and assumedly killed at least a few. I'm not really sure how Barto's powers would work in relation to seawater, but I gotta say, even if he did manage to throw up a bubble last minute as the ship's blowing up, best case scenario, dude sunk to the bottom of the ocean in a force bubble that has limited oxygen. He's gonna need a miracle to make it out of that. So Shanks has attacked the Grand Fleet, which, as we've seen in the past in the story, is a declaration of war. That's one Yonko attacking another Yonko. Which is why I wanted to start off identifying that Zoro has done a good job at what his job is on the crew, right? Like, as a first mate, your job is to keep your captain in check and making sure they are making the decisions that are best for the crew, not chasing pointless treasures over here or teaming up with somebody who we know is going to stab us in the back over there type stuff, right? Like, the first mate's job is to essentially be the captain when the captain is having a questionable moment. Now, I am not saying, and I really hope there aren't any fans out there who think Zoro would do a better job as a captain. I really don't think he would. As unreliable as Luffy can be sometimes, like, man, if Zoro gets a bottle of sake in front of him, all bets are off. Hey, no telling. He might beat your butt. He might just chill and get drunk watching somebody else fight you for a while, right? But as a first mate, his loyalty and his ability to do his job really can't be questioned in my eyes. He is a really good first mate, and that's why I pointed out all the way back to Whole Cake, right? On Whole Cake, the primary antagonist was the first mate. We as readers were told what a first mate was supposed to be, what a first mate was supposed to do for their crew, right? And then doubling down, when we get to Wano, we have Zoro fighting King. Like, they are 1v1ing. This is a best first mate wins scenario, which means now Zoro has had a crash course from another high-ranking first mate on what a first mate is supposed to do and be. He was kind of taken out of Egghead. I admit that is a little bit of a plot hole in my theory here. He was kind of taken out of Egghead because they needed to make an emergency escape and they didn't want to go have to hunt down Zoro, who got lost, right? Character flaw. Now, the reason I'm bringing all this up is because we're at a point. Shanks has announced his intentions to go after the One Piece himself, right? Now, aside from that, Shanks has also attacked the Grand Fleet. When Zoro finds out about this, it is I'd like to take a couple stabs, right? Like, we potentially could be looking at another Water 7 situation with Luffy playing the role of Usopp, where Zoro might have to beat some sense into his captain, like, hey, brother, it is time to take off those rose-tinted goggles. This man is standing in the way of your dream. You want to get the One Piece, he also wants to get the One Piece, and he's a Yonko. And aside from that, homie, check out this newspaper. He sank one of our ships. Dude has attacked us. It's no longer a, hey, I want to meet Shanks to give him back his hat. Or to be all, hey, Shanks, I finally made it. Let's have a drink together or something, right? Whatever Luffy, I mean, I imagine it was returning the hat because that's what Shanks said, right? But it can't be that situation anymore. And that's why I posted on my Tumblr, I believe it was yesterday, it might have been this morning. Luffy's facing a captain's dilemma. Actually, it was yesterday because I remember I wanted to sleep on it, and it was while I was editing that video. What is he gonna do? Because from one perspective, right, like, you can't be mad at Luffy for revering Shanks like this. Like, if it weren't for Shanks, Luffy wouldn't be alive. If it weren't for Shanks, Luffy wouldn't have the power to chase and achieve his dream. Shanks is a pivotal and key figure to Luffy and has done a lot for Luffy to earn Luffy's trust. But at what point, as a captain of a ship, do you have to sit back like, okay, you know what? As much as I like this guy, as much as he's done for me, he has now made a direct, aggressive act against me. I don't think Luffy has the benefit to continue to give Shanks the benefit of the doubt anymore. It's, the gloves have to come off. Those rose-tinted goggles need to go back up into that Gear 5th hair. It's time, and things are about to get real. And I feel like Oda set this up perfectly, right? Because there aren't very many more antagonists left in the story. We know eventually Buggy and Blackbeard are gonna be confronted. Whether they decide to roll with Luffy or whether they decide to fight Luffy is still up in the air. I maintain that it's going to come down to Cross Guild is going to fracture between the crews that want to side with Blackbeard and the crews that want to side with Luffy. So like that could make for some really interesting plot twist there in the final war, right? But I would like to present an actual theory, not just this thought I had, right? Because that's kind of what my brand is, right? I don't like just critically analyzing and thinking about this stuff. I like to try and come up with ideas and theories of where it might be going based on the facts and details that we have. So, I would like to present the theory, my favorite time. Here we go, theory time! Let me know, is that too gimmicky? Anyway, theory time. Shanks is going to be waiting in the Sun Realm when we get back to Elbaph proper. You know, once the flashback is over, we've figured out what the point of the flashback was. How did Harold actually die? You know, in case you forgot, that is the point of this flashback, right? Loki's supposed to be telling the story to Hajrun about how their father died. So once we figure that out, we're going to cut back to Elbaph proper in the Hell Realm. You know, Hajrun is going to ultimately free Loki. I really don't have any doubts at all about that. But by the time this trio, you know, Luffy, Loki, and Hajrun make it back up to the Sun Realm, the God's Knights are going to be gone. There's not going to be any more Gunko. There's not going to be any Summers. There's not going to be any Killingham. They're going to be gone. Now, part of the reason I think this is when Emu did show up, they, you know, casually mentioned the Holy Land is on fire. So this isn't something they want to spend a lot of time focused on, right? It's like, okay, let's get this done. Let's get out of here because I need you guys back at the base. You know, enemy's team pushing high ground. We got no more tier 4 turrets. It's ancient exposed. We need all hands on deck. time to turtle up. But aside from that, I mean, I think it's been... I think Loki did mention that Shanks left, but Loki's in the Hell Realm. There's a whole Sun Realm between him and the Heaven Realm. And we do know that Shanks was chilling in the Sun Realm for a little bit, at least as far as long enough to beat Kid's butt and then bust some kind of move. Point being, we don't really know what Shanks did after he got done bodying Kid. I have presented the theory that Laugh-Tale is on the Cloud Sea, and Elbaph does... I don't think it's confirmed. Maybe it is. But in theory, at least, Elbaph does connect to the Cloud Sea with the Sun Realm there at the top. Standing tall enough, it could be connected to the Cloud Sea. So, Shanks might have been busting a move up to get to the Cloud Sea. So I think it's possible Shanks is still around on Elbaph when all of this pops off. Maybe they're getting ready to commit to go into the Cloud Sea, and Shanks looks down like, wait, is that some God's Knights? Is that my brother? I recognize that fool. Hold on, what's going on? And then, he makes the journey back down. Potentially with all of the crew, maybe just Lucky Roo and Ben Beckman. No real telling there, but I do believe it is entirely possible that Shanks got involved, because let's look at what we're dealing with on the battlefield. Yes, Zoro and Sanji are strong. They are in contention to become the next Timothy Chatson, right? Like, they are right there on the precipice of being the strongest character in the series. But that's the point. They're on the precipice. They're not there yet, and we're facing two God's Knights, highly trained with powerful devil fruits. Speaking of, one of those devil fruits has made manifest the nightmares of the people sleeping on Elbaph. And we have a strong God's Knight in possession of a powerful devil fruit being puppeted by the actual god of the planet themselves right now. 3 minutes is long enough to pack in the crew. That's all I'm saying. Like, I do not want to take anything at all away from Zoro or Sanji. But let's face facts. Gabon himself got packed in. Like, dude's been around. I would even argue that Rayleigh and Gabon, maybe not at their peak, but they have just crescendoed past that peak. They are just on the other side of the crest. They are by no means weak individuals, and Gabon got stopped. Now, admittedly, yes, he did go in on Summers and did some real damage, but Gabon knows a secret that Zoro and Sanji don't know yet. He's given clues, so it's possible, maybe Zoro can stand up to Killingham or Summers, right? But an emu puppeted Gunko, I don't think. Like, 3 minutes is long enough to pack that in unless a miracle happens. That miracle, I'm theorizing, is Shanks. Shanks shows up, tilts the scales just enough. Emu decides, okay, you know what? It's not worth the time to commit anymore here. I need you guys back on the Holy Land list. And go. And they bounce. So then when Loki, Hajrun, and Luffy get back to the Sun Realm, they look around, they see, oh, even Zoro and Sanji all beat up? Like, what happened? Hey, Shanks, what happened? That's just my theory. As always, I'd love to hear what you guys think on this one. What started off as a crazy random thought mid-editing a video has turned into a wildfire in my brain. So if you guys think I'm overcooked, feel free. Let me know in the comments. Hey, Barlow, it's time to pump them brakes, bud. Or, if a YouTube comment isn't enough, as always, feel free to reach out on the Discord community, the Barlow Zone, or on my socials, X and Tumblr at Barlow Be Theorizing. As usual, I'll have links to all that in the description below. And as always, I hope everybody has a blessed day. Much love, friends.